Hi, it's Steve from PartSelect. Today we're going to show you how to change the pump and motor assembly on your dishwasher, and it's a really easy job. All we're going to need is a 1/4 inch nut driver, a Phillips screwdriver, a small flat blade screwdriver, a pair of slip joint pliers, and maybe an adjustable wrench. Let me show you how we do it. Now, to do this repair, we will need to get access to the bottom of the dishwasher. So if it's a portable dishwasher, we can simply pull it out into the center of your floor and tilt it on its side, and we can access the bottom. Now, if it's a built-in dishwasher like this, we will need to disconnect the power and the inlet water supply to be able to pull the dishwasher out of the cabinets. So the first thing we'll do is to locate the fuse panel or breaker panel and turn the power off at that source. Now next, we're going to open up the dishwasher, and we will need to remove the lower spray arm and tower assembly. So we're going to have to pull the lower rack out and set that aside. And next, we'll pull the rack completely out so the rail is fully extended, and then just push the rack back enough to give us access to remove that rack stop. There's a little clip at the top of that that needs to be depressed, and then we can push that rack stop up through the opening in the rail. And if need be, just take a little flat blade and further depress that so that it clears it. We can next pull the upper rack completely out of the rails, and we'll set it aside. And then just put the rails back in out of the way. Next, we'll remove the lower spray arm. We're just going to release this retaining nut in the center. We'll turn that clockwise, and then just lift the spray arm completely off of the bearing. And set that aside. And next, we're going to remove the 2 Phillips screws, one at the back and one at the top, that secure that manifold in place. Make sure we don't drop that screw down into the pump. Then we can just pull that manifold away from the tub and just turn it clockwise or to the right to disengage it from the top of the pump. You'll see where there are some tabs that line up with slots in that pump. Once we've got that lined up properly, we can actually lift that completely out of the dishwasher, and we'll set it aside. Now at this point, we can close the dishwasher up again, and then we're going to take our 1/4 inch nut driver and we'll remove the lower access panel. Now once we've removed that lower access panel, we'll be able to get to the inlet water valve, and we'll be able to disconnect the water at that point, and we'll also be able to disconnect the wires to the junction box underneath the dishwasher as well. Right, now that we have the dishwasher on its side, we have clear access to the pump and motor assembly. Our first step will be to disconnect the wire harnesses to the drain pump motor, to the sensor, and to the main motor. On the drain pump motor, there's a little locking tab that holds that connector in place, so I'm just going to pull back on that and then lift up on the harness connector and disconnect it. Now the sensor again has a locking tab, so we need to pull that back and disconnect the harness. The pump motor has 2 locking tabs, one on either side, and one in behind. You can probably use a flat blade to depress that one, and just pull up on the harness. Release the second one, and then we can just push that harness out of the way. Now our next step will be to remove the drain pump motor, because we are going to transfer that drain pump motor onto our new pump. And to do that, we'll need to remove the drain hose and clamp. So we'll start by depressing the clamp. We'll use our pliers. And then just pull that hose off. Now there may be some water in here, so it's handy to have some old towels or a container to catch that excess. Simply rotate the hose off. Now next, to remove the drain pump motor, there's a little locking tab in behind here. You can just depress with your finger, and then we'll rotate the whole motor counterclockwise about 90 degrees. You can see the little locking tab that we had to disengage. Rotate it 90 degrees, and then it will lift out of the housing. We'll set that aside and we'll use it on our new pump. Now there are 3 locking tabs that hold that pump housing into the tub of the dishwasher. So we just pull those out. They have a rubber friction on the bottom that engages against the tub. Now once we've removed all of those, the gasket around the pump housing that touches up against the tub is probably stuck in there pretty good. So you need to give that pump and motor a little bit of a bump upwards to free it. So while supporting it so that it doesn't drop right into the tub, we'll just give that a little smack with the back of your hand. Same on the front side. And once we free that up, we can just let that hang there. And then we're going to have to next stand our dishwasher up and then remove the pump from the inside of the tub. Now that we've got the dishwasher standing back upright again, we'll open the door. Then we can reach in and just lift that pump up through the opening and set that aside. Just close the dishwasher door for a moment. We are going to transfer a couple of more components from the old pump to the new one. First will be the lower wash arm bearing. We'll have a thin nylon washer that sits on top of it, and then the bearing itself. So keep that aside. And if on the bottom side of that pump housing, we'll find the sensor housing. It will turn counterclockwise about a quarter of a turn to release it. Now it's bound to be fairly tight in there. And if you can't move it with your hand, just take the slip joint pliers that you have and very carefully just give that a little bit of a turn to get it started, and then it will pull out of the housing. Now before we install that in the new pump, we'll want to clean up that O-ring gasket that is the water seal for that sensor. You can roll that completely off of the sensor assembly if need be, and just clean it up with some soap and water and then roll it back on, and we're ready to put it onto the new pump. And we can discard the old pump, and we'll take the new pump, and you'll note where that sensor mounts, there are 2 slotted openings on the inside. One is larger than the other to correspond with 2 tabs on the bottom of the sensor. So we line those up, press it firmly into the hole, turn it clockwise until it stops, and then that's fully mounted. Now before we install the new pump, we'll want to clean up the area at the bottom of the tub where the gasket will mate up against the tub. So just take some soap and water and clean that crud out of there, make sure it's nice and clean. Now before we set that pump and motor assembly into the tub, it's a good idea to lubricate the area that the gasket is going to contact the outer tub, and either use some dishwashing liquid, or you could actually use some of the rinse aid. This makes a nice lubricant for that to slide into place. And then we'll tuck the back side of the motor in first, make sure that the shield is fully inserted through the opening, rotate it around, and the slotted opening here will allow the drain outlet of the pump to come through, and then there is a locating tab at the front that will line up in that little slot. Now we do need to make sure that that pump is firmly pressed into place from the top and that the gasket is seated flush all the way around. So you need to do that with the dishwasher standing upright so that you can apply some pressure on that gasket and make sure that it's seated firmly and centered properly. Right, now that we have the pump seated into the bottom of the tub, we're going to start by installing each of the retainer clips. And we'll tuck this one in the bottom first, and not all the way in, just partially, because we will still have to pry that pump assembly downwards into that bottom of the tub. It's a little bit of a trick to get all three of them completely installed and tightened. So we suggest just inserting them a little ways at first until you get all three started. Now once we have all three of those started, just carefully push each of them in a little farther. You may need to pull downward on that pump to accomplish that. So they're wedge shaped, and the farther in they go, the more tension they will put on that gasket. Now with them fully inserted, we're now ready to reinstall the drain pump. Once we've ensured that that gasket on the drain pump is clean and doesn't have any debris on it, we'll set it on top of the opening, the motor facing towards the front of the dishwasher. Then we're going to rotate that clockwise till the locking tab engages. You'll hear a little click at that point. We'll next reconnect our drain hose, slide it over the outlet of the pump housing. And using our pliers, compress that clamp and then rotate it up into position. Make sure it's fully inserted onto the drain pump housing. Now next we'll reconnect the wire harnesses. Start with the one for the pump. Just press it into place and make sure the little locking tab engages. The harness for the sensor. And again, press it in far enough that the locking tab holds it in position. And then the main motor harness. Make sure both tabs lock properly. Now our next step will be to stand the dishwasher back up, and we're going to reinstall it in the cabinets.
I told you it was an easy job. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your repair.